Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. So episode 108. As always, a nice Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time in the fantastic state of Texas. At least that's where we are and where we record from in our fantastic little office/studio. I was about to say Udio. Like started with office and end with studio, and I was like, Udio, that sounds retarded. But, whatever. It's getting cold outside, which is kind of nuts. You guys can hear my voice is a little raspy these days. I think things have just been a little hectic, if you will. I think it was Monday morning at 3:30 a.m. was when we pulled in from our 21 drive hour back from Vegas, which was pretty intense. Obviously, once we talk, we're going to have Kyle Redmond on a little bit later, and I'll do as much talking about Vegas as I guess I'm allowed to once he's on, because we'll be talking a lot about the Endurocross and stuff like that. But our first guest is going to be Cory Buttrick, so it's going to be really cool to hear from him and just kind of see what's been going on in his life. We've got new deals coming out for 2014 that's going to be awesome to hear about, and to get his side of that too, like a lot of the stuff that he went, because there were rumors about different brands and things like that. So hopefully we can get a lot of the testing and things like that he went through to know why he chose what he chose. So we're going to find out stuff like that. So Seat Time, for those of you who have absolutely no idea what you're watching, this is the online show for the off-road enthusiast. We sit down, we drink some beer, and we bench race with the racers out there and other people in the industry that want to just talk about all the stuff that's been going on in the off-road world. We are brought to you by Fly Racing. They are a very, very big supporter of Seat Time. We would definitely appreciate it if you go check them out at flyracing.com. Of course, and Powersport Graphics, and who's our third? Fast Company, because it's Tuesday, it's the third week in the month. It's going to be Fast Company. We, as well, just got done doing the Friends of Fast Ride. One of the main reasons, besides the Endurocross, that we head out to Vegas. Man, we got so much good stuff to say about those guys. So Powersport Graphics, you can find them at ridepg.com. And, of course, Fast Company, you can find them at fastco.com. Key in a little bit later for a discount that I have coming to you guys. Their little Christmas special. So it'll be a good time for everybody. Let's see. Other housekeeping quick notes is that we do still have some of our quote t-shirts. You can buy those at seattime.bigcartel.com. Best thing out there is that you say, you know what, I kind of enjoy this. I really dig what you guys do. Please support us. That's kind of what keeps us going, is the support from you guys. So we really appreciate that. All right, so now that I've wasted a good 4 minutes of everybody's evening, Mr. Cory Buttrick, how is your evening going, kind sir?
It's good. Just hanging out. Really haven't got to do much yet tonight. Just laying low watching TV.
Yeah, once you knock back that 12-pack, then it's just time to relax, right?
Buddy, you can just chill mode now. You just ride on.
I hear that. Well, I'm not exactly getting too highfalutin this evening. It's funny that you asked me, hey, is that a 40? It's not. What it probably looks like it's just poking over the head there. This is what's that?
It does. It looks big.
It's I just drank a lot of ciders and stuff now, and Woodchuck has started putting out what they're calling their Cellar Series. So it's a little bit. I don't know if it's actually better, more crafted, but maybe they just sell it for more money and it's the same old stuff. But it tastes pretty good. It's a little bit better than some of the sweeter stuff that's out there, a little bit drier. So that's what I'm partaking in this evening. That and a little bit of water. As you can tell, my throat's not feeling that great. You gotta keep it up. Hey, if you don't hydrate, you dihydrate, right? I don't know. That sounded dumb. We'll go with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
King Cobra probably gets you a little bit more.
What's that?
The King Cobra probably gets you a little bit more street cred.
That's true. That or some Steel Reserve.
King Cobra Dog 40.
Yeah. I think Steel Reserve's the good stuff. Steel Reserve's what I drink when I'm getting crazy. That or Mickey's. I think Mickey's is the way to go sometimes. So, Mr. Cory Buttrick, it's been a long time since we've had you on the show, as we discussed just a little bit ago. And then, of course, we've got, we were talking about having your jersey on the wall. It's still dirty. It says Thor and KTM on it. That's nowhere near the case anymore. So just take us back a little bit and kind of talk us through what you've been going through in life and kind of what you've been up to.
Yeah, well, I guess really last time I was on the show was right after I won the National Enduro, the fan lapper in beginning of 2012, and then yeah, it wasn't long after that that things went downhill just a bit for me after getting hurt. Pretty well made a successful comeback. I was pretty much ready to get rolling again, and got hurt again, basically this time last year at a trials event in Kentucky, and completely redid everything to the knee, and then didn't get released again this year until around September. So just been a very, very long process, and but also a very good learning process as well, and but hopefully you can just take everything that we've been through and make it for the better. Hopefully not do that again, getting hurt.
Yeah. And I remember reading your kind of blog update. It sounded like that that you had been released from the doctor. The doctor was okay to go. You had been doing some trials competitions and stuff like that. When you landed on, kind of came off of that log, as you mentioned in your report, was it just kind of landed weird, and though it was strong, it just wasn't strong enough to support kind of that fall at that point?
Yeah, and it was just a really bad deal all the way around, because I guess obviously I didn't ever think I would get hurt, or else I wouldn't have been doing it, But then again, that's but with everything that we do, it's the competition and getting better, is what drives us. But yeah, and just when I wanted to come off the log, I realized that I was like, well, hell, I was, stuck on the frame. I was like, I'm going to have to jump off. I don't want the bike to hit me. And then I even had on the brace, my knee, that the doctor made. And it was just bad luck. I don't really know how it happened. But yeah, obviously it wasn't strong enough to support itself. But I guess it's just how it goes. Nothing we can do now.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely unfortunate. And I know a lot of people have been kind of like speculative. You did kind of just fall off the radar, the map, if you will. And I understand, but it seems like in those situations, you just kind of have to step back and get everything right and make sure that you can come back swinging at 100, 110%. So do you feel that you've done that, though, that you've kind of stepped back enough and trained yourself enough and gotten yourself strong enough that you can come back at a professional pace?
Well, yeah, and then this time, I certainly didn't have any other options because, I definitely can't afford to do this stuff with my knee again, because I don't think there's too many doctors, that would operate it on again, let alone, me getting hurt and coming back and having a ride ever again, because, I'm lucky to be getting the support I'm getting, this year coming back just because, yeah, it's out of sight, out of mind, and it's one of those things. It's tough to do, when you're not racing and stuff. To go around and talk to people and go to the races. It's not a fun thing to do.
Right.
Certainly.
I do. It was tough. A lot of people. I finally started going to races again. I guess you could say about the past month and a half, because I had my shoulder surgery in April, and everybody was just like, "Holy crap!" I'd still kept up with seat time doing this, going to a couple different events and such. But man, it was like people, I guess, just, you don't see me at a local race, you don't see me at all, kind of a thing. Everybody just thought I had fallen off the map, but I was just doing my thing, getting healthy. So I can understand that it feels like that for people like me trying to figure out, where's Cory Buttrick? I don't see him anymore. But being that we live on other sides of the country, it kind of almost makes sense. So I should I'd have to do a better job of calling you and just being like, what's up? What we doing?
Yeah, man. I was so pissed the other day when you texted me. I was literally trying to tell you about the bad luck I've been having, and I ain't kidding. I hit that piece of scrap metal on the road, and it spun around, hit the driver's side door on my truck, and just left a big old dent. And I thought, man, this is perfect.
Don't text and drive.
No. Well, yeah. Moral of the story.
Right. That's all right. So, from reading the press release, you're going to be riding for American Beta, and immediately I go, okay, well, is this a GNCC or an enduro thing? But then if you kind of read further into it, you go, okay, it seems like it's a full-on enduro deal that you're going to have with select GNCCs. How did this deal come about? Because there were rumors of you being on Sherco while we were in Vegas. People were talking about there were people in blue clothing that thought you might be riding Sherco, and then we found out a day or two later that the beta release came out. So just kind of take us through a little bit of how you're testing and the bikes you were going on and how you came to the decision that you were able to come to.
With the Sherco stuff, I kind of looked into that deal a good bit earlier on. Like I got the a 304-stroke Sherco much earlier this year, just by being friends with Clay Stuckey, and he was willing to help out and step up because it was looking as if I could be heading that route, going with the Air Group and Sherco, with Clay. And So anyways, got to ride that bike a good bit, and here we were, slowly, just like now, it's almost December, and we just kept inching closer. And I was also talking with a few other people, but mainly just trying to, obviously, just like anybody else, trying to get the best deal you can, and also just give yourself the best opportunity you can to win. I mean, that's really all you can do here, now, and especially with trying to make a comeback. And so, but everything, and believe me, same with, Clay and the boys with Sherco and Air Group, there was nothing wrong there. I mean, it wasn't those guys. It was just the beta stuff. It really came up quickly. Just a few weeks ago, I really started talking to those guys, and once we started, getting stuff worked out, I realized how quickly we could make this happen. And knowing that I can have bikes now, like, man, it just seemed like a simple decision, just because it's time to roll. I was really, really ready just to ride and just not to be waiting around any longer.
Yeah, for sure.
It was one of those decisions that had to be made. And like I said, it was nothing against those guys. No one did me wrong, and it was bad. It's just how it goes.
Yes. So you mentioned something about the Air Group and Sherco. Do you know if that's a given that they're going to be Sherco bikes for sure, or because the last thing I remembered is that they might be Sherco or might be still Husky. Do you know if they went with Sherco?
I have no idea. I mean, I think they were still sorting all that stuff out, but I really couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But obviously, extremely excited about the beta deal, though. I mean, because I went and rode the bike just a few weeks ago, and after riding it, I knew right away that you could win on the bike, and then that really, really pumped me up, because I was, just to have that feeling again, of confidence, but also it looks like, and the GNCC talk, just recently started kind of big time, as far as we're going to go ahead and get some 450s and test them, and if everything, goes well, then we'll take it to a couple races just to see how things go, but for sure just focusing on Enduros for right now.
Yeah. I think it's a great deal. Guys like Brad Balkin, Nick Farringer, those guys have been doing a great job with a very centralized kind of focus in on the Enduros. It's definitely something you can make a living at. It's obviously tougher in those situations, but as people like to say, the quote-unquote economy is getting better, and I think we're starting to see guys like Air Group that are these kind of, we'll just call them satellite teams for what they, kind of working off of the satellite or the Supercross type of setup. But they're able to find a way to make money and to profit a little bit, I would imagine, on this and put back into a sport that they love. So it's good because it helps guys like you that, I think, man, if it had been 2 or 3 years ago, if you would have been in the situation you were in trying to come back, you would have been completely, I think, on your own dime.
Or maybe been better because everybody had money.
Yeah, that would have been right before shit hit the bed. So,
I agree. Yeah.
But, so focusing on enduros, obviously you've done, like you said, last time we talked was right after you won a national enduro. So you obviously know how to race national enduros, but you're a very, very competent GNCC racer as well. Do you feel like, how do you take what you know, what you've done, all the training that you have, how do you take that and then focus it solely on national enduros? What do you change up from what you would do typically if you were just training for GNCCs?
Well, for me, it becomes a little bit more complicated because I'm one of the people that really switches back and forth between bikes. I really don't want to take a 2-stroke to a GNCC, and I really don't want to take a 4-stroke to an enduro. Now, I'm kind of set in my ways, as far as wanting to be on a 300 or 252 stroke for the enduros, and then 450 for a GNCC, because now, I'm not a little kid, I can make a 450 go pretty good. I'm big enough to ride a 450 now.
Right.
But it's just really for me, I think the enduros almost always came easier. Just because I don't know, because when you can focus on yourself just a little bit more, as far as just flowing and just kind of getting into a rhythm and then able to hammer down. When the GNCCs, sometimes you just gotta be cutthroat and really just you just drop the hammer the full time, and just try to get to the front. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of strategy with it, but obviously the GNCCs take a lot more prep and as far as training time and stuff as well, where the enduros, man, it's a lot easier to go really fast for 30 minutes, but that's certainly not the case, why we chose to do, enduros only, but no, but the enduros sure are a lot of fun, though.
Yes. That's definitely where I grew up, and that's kind of the realm that I live in, more so than the cross-country races. I will definitely go out and race a cross-country race, but I by no means am going to try to be going for a whole shot or throwing elbows with anybody. I'm kind of like, I will fight your dust, and if I can catch you after the fact, we could hang out and ride in the woods together. That's kind of how I race cross-country races, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I want to know, I rode the 300, the Sherco 300i, at the Oklahoma National Enduro. Clay was out there, and I got to take a demo ride, and he let me race it the next day. I thoroughly enjoyed that bike. Now I know you're with Beta, but what did you think of that bike? It's something that they're trying to push a little bit more in the States. David Knight's going to be riding it on the SuperEnduro Series over in the States. He was just in the States riding it in Vegas. But what are your thoughts on that bike?
No, I thought it was a good bike. First impressions, obviously, it turned really, really well. From the factory, it comes with a very short wheelbase, so any bike like that obviously turns good. But for a quicker rider, to me, the stock suspension settings were a bit soft. But for enduro stuff, they were probably fine. Most of the places I had it were on faster tracks, stuff that I typically, practice a bit more. But, it's one of those deals, for what I do and what I was doing on it, I could have used a little bit more motor. That was just the only difference, where if it was the 302 stroke, it would have been fine. But to me, just the 304 stroke was a little bit slow as far as for doing what I wanted to do sometimes. But no, it was a great bike. I definitely think it was built well. Just looking at it, I think a lot of good ideas went into the bike, though. And there's no reason why you could win on the bike. I certainly believe that,
Yeah. I think what totally blew my mind is I knew it had an electric start, but I did not know it didn't have a Kickstarter. I just so used to my bike, my KTM 300 XC, where you got an electric start, but if for some strange reason you're, just freaking out and not thinking and just go to pull out the Kickstarter, you just kick it. You just go. Well, I tried to do that when I was on the 300, and I literally just put my hand down there and I burned my finger because I literally went until I touched the exhaust pipe. And I was like, what? And I looked down, and then we're halfway into the race. It's not like this is, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't, that's when it dawned on me. I was like, this bike doesn't even have a Kickstarter. You just don't even think to not look for a kick, so it was very, very crazy.
Man, that's good. That's great.
I'm also not the most intelligent person in the world, and come 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. I'm barely with it as is. So, we have talked with Cody Webb. We've seen Cody Webb do phenomenal things lately on his 300 that he's been riding the two-stroke in the Endurocross Series. So that's a bike that you're going to be riding for the National Enduro Series. Now, how close is your setup to his setup in the sense of is it the same kind of factory setup, or are you just signed with an American Beta and you get your bikes a different way and different kinds of managers than he has?
No, I believe essentially me and Cody Webb are really teammates.
Okay.
It's the same deal, with American Beta, and essentially everything's going to be the same. Alan Stillwell will be doing our suspension, and it really sounds as if everything's going to be set up the same, which is good. And obviously, what Cody's been doing is working. And but Cody's also certainly a very good rider, extremely talented. And, that's what he's good at right there, But, obviously the bike seems to be working really, really well for him. And I think the same thing. I think the bike's great. I don't believe there's any excuse why you shouldn't be able to win on the bike.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely a winning-capable machine. I myself have kind of started working a little bit with Alan Stillwell to try to see I've never done the full-blown suspension setup before, so him and I have been going back and forth. Now, you obviously have had that kind of a situation before where you've definitely had a lot of feedback back and forth with your factory mechanics, probably even semi-factory mechanics, maybe even mom-and-pop type of mechanics that have worked on a lot of your equipment. So going to this, kind of having been off the bench for a while and going back into this, do you think that you're going to kind of have to relearn how to be able to give that feedback and work with a team manager and your mechanic and things like that?
The funny thing is I've been saying that a good bit recently. I truly believe that being off the bike, I've learned a lot more being off it than I ever learned being on the bike. And recently I've realized that's just being able to translate what's happening, whether that's on the trail or what the bike's doing. But I guess I just pay attention a lot more now, as far as I think I'll be able to give a lot better feedback. When before I always just did it and just went fast. Yeah. And all the time when we would test, they'd be like, "Oh, well, did you notice a difference?" And I'd be like, "No, but I went faster at that time." I can't say I was the best at it, but now I feel like I'll have a little bit better idea as far as to give feedback and also what to expect. Just being more aware, how to relate what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I think it's from the little bit of feedback that we've gotten from Cody and from a couple other beta riders that Stillwell, if nothing else, definitely knows how to make the suspension that comes stock with them, if you're riding the Marzocchis, work better? It seems, I don't know if you're going to be riding specifically with the Marzocchis or not, but I know that they are much more happy now than they were earlier on in the year when they first received the bikes. So
good. Yeah, and my bike as well will have Marzocchis up front, which will be good.
Right. Do you know if you're going to have the Fox rear shock?
Yep. Yep, that's the game plan. So I think
that's so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's felt good so far. So I'm excited, and we'll get to test with Alan very soon, which will be fun, and just another way to keep making progress. Keep moving forward.
Absolutely. So what does the rest of your deal look like then for this? Because are you able to then find your own gear company, kind of helmet company? Are you still piecing all of that together, or what you have signed with is I guess more of an all-encompassing kind of deal?
No, and that's one of the beauties of the deal is I really found with KTM, that's kind of how everything always was. Everything was always bundled together and this and that. So it's been really nice to go out and talk to people and decide what gear I want to wear, and also it can be beneficial to me as well, with making contingencies and bonuses, for race wins and stuff for wearing different gear and helmets. So no, I've been very, very excited about it though. So now I'll get to choose. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, as you can tell by how good I look most of the time when I ride my dirt bike in my Fly racing gear, that you should definitely.
You got jerseys behind you.
What's that?
You got a lot of jerseys behind you. I do.
Well, see, this is the thing is I've got so many people that are my best friend. No, actually, I beg and plead for these people to send me these jerseys, and guys like yourself who give in eventually, who more than likely just don't want to stop getting the text messages. Sign the damn things and send them on their way, and that's how I get this fantastically little fun wall of stuff, which goes up. It's just that we don't have a movable camera, so we can't show it. But, I'm just saying, so Fly Racing is a huge sponsor of Seat Time. Maybe we could get them to get you could get a Fly Racing deal, and we could get a little Seat Time, iron-ons put on there.
Yeah, dude, that's fine. Believe me, if you talk to them boys and they decided to help me out or just support the program, buddy, I wouldn't care if I ran a Seat Time butt patch the next 5 years. I could care less.
Boom.
As long as I'm getting some product and I can race my dirt bike, buddy, I could care less.
Seat Time on your bum. I'm in. There's probably better places to put Seat Time, but hey, you know what?
It makes sense.
Ass in the worst. I'm okay with it. So the one thing I did notice too is, as you were talking about, is from the press releases that for the few GNCCs you plan on doing, you will be doing the 450 four-stroke.
Yeah,
this is a bike that has been in the States for a little bit longer, but it's still kind of been developed and things like that. Have you had a chance to really ride on that 450 much?
I honestly haven't rode a 450 yet, but I'm very excited about it just because nowadays I'm such a big fan of the 450 power, and knowing where you can use it to your advantage, and that's certainly something that I would like to do. So, no matter what the case is with the bike, I believe it's going to be good, and I believe, either way, we should be able to make it work. And so that's kind of the game plan for now. But then again, I mean, there's also just a couple of GNCCs that I wouldn't mind taking a two-stroke still. I mean, there's probably only one or two, but I mean, where I would still take, maybe a 300 to XC1 class,
Right.
Just maybe like the one, the Mammoth in Kentucky, just because obviously if it wasn't muddy like it was this year,
yeah.
But I guess years ago where's the dry rocks, where I was like, wow, that bike definitely would have been better today, but so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool, man. We're super excited. We're glad we got a chance to talk to you. I did have one question from the chat room. It's from our buddy Zach Huberty, who's always question friendly, and I very much appreciate that. He's like, cool. So what's the goal this year? Championship? Where do you see yourself? He's obviously very direct.
That's good. That's the way to be. I certainly believe we can win a championship. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm aiming for. I wouldn't be putting this effort into it or wasting anybody's time for any other reason, unless we thought that we were going to win. And I have full intentions of winning this year. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Nice.
That's why I have a job this year,
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to find out, I guess, what is it? First race is early March?
Yeah, March 2nd, I believe.
March 2nd, and then you guys will be in Texas in late March, right?
Yeah, it'll be the second.
Is it? Oh, it's the second round this year because it was the third this year, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we'll be to your house. I don't know, a couple weeks before then, so we can stay and ride. Yeah,
sounds good to me. I'll tell the wife, the new baby that'll be here by then at that point. And Now, that's what sucks. If you guys would have been here, if you guys would have been here this year, you guys would have had a guest bedroom. You would have had an extra garage, all this stuff. Now,
What's wrong with the couch? Is anyone staying there?
oh no, I got this couch.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
We got a whole other couch. Absolutely, you guys are more than welcome anytime. What's cool is we're super close to Cole Kirkpatrick. We got Brian Story. So Cole Kirkpatrick just lives down the road. He's fast. You can go ride with him. We got Brian Story's property down the highway. You can go play around there. And if you really want to go find some crazy shit, you can go about 2 hours east, and you can practice a crap ton of rocks. Now, if you but if you're coming for Concho, I would practice rocks because it's an interesting property. It's very rocky, very shaly rock though. Quick elevation changes, but not steep. Quick steep elevation changes, but not long. So it's a challenging place. It's more challenging than you would think going, especially since you're kind of going towards West Texas. You wouldn't think that it is what it is, but.
Well, thank you for that insight. I do appreciate it.
Hey, when you win.
Yeah.
Seat Time's got all the answers. Call them. Talk to them on the internet. Dig it. Well, cool, dude. We really appreciate you taking the time. Make sure you tell everybody right now where they can find you online, on Twitter, social, all that kinds of stuff so they can get in touch with you.
I do appreciate it, man. Thank you again, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, dude. What's your website again?
It's Cory Buttrick 121. Well, actually, but... I mean, I wouldn't go to it because it was Cory Buttrick Racing, besides I gave you the wrong one. But it hasn't been updated since then. It's got some big changes coming soon, so I'll probably have a new one coming out very soon. It'll be Cory Buttrick Racing 121. Forgot about it.
We'll check it out. We'll make sure to keep everybody updated.
Oh, my God, one more time. It's CoryButtrickRacing.com. I'm sorry.
Hey. I understand, man. Too much water, people start to get funny in the head. They just can't think straight.
The bad part is I wish I was drinking. Then I'd have a good excuse.
Don't worry, man. Welcome to my world. It's quite unfortunate. It just is what it is. I'm 34 now, and that happens to me on a very regular basis. So
yeah, I'm 22. It sucks.
Yeah, it shouldn't be happening to you yet.
All right, have a good night.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks again. Take it easy.
Thanks, Brian.
Peace. All right, so that was wrapping up with Cory Buttrick. It sounds like he's going to have a fantastic 2014. You can tell he's very motivated, super ready to go ride, and he sounds very confident. It sounds like he's got it in the bag. So we'll see how it all kinds of comes together for him. I think it's going to be interesting when he finds out what the championship, what it really takes to get out there and do it. Not that I don't think he can. It's just to note there's a dynamic that has changed in the past couple years since he's been out there. So hopefully he can get out there, swing hard with the big boys, and hit a couple home runs. So as we kind of transition over to Kyle Redmond, I definitely want to say thank you very much to Fly Racing. I will get in touch with our buddy Dale Spangler and tell them, hey, Cory Buttrick is looking for a gear deal. He would like to set something up. But if you're out there and you're racing, and you're riding and getting ready for the cold weather, and you're going, oh man, you're like me. Your fingers get super cold. You don't have fun when they're cold. You need to go to flyracing.com, check out their website, and you can find the new Tidal gloves that they've come out with. They have a long cuff or a short cuff, if depending on how much snow you're going to be riding in. And of course, they're extremely built for cold weather in the sense that they've got they're waterproof, windproof, and still breathable. And they actually have a non-insulated palm, so that way you can get good grip. But the back is insulated, so that way as you're riding kind of into the wind, it helps keep your hands just that much more warm. And of course, they have a neat little pre-curved design, so that way it fits a little bit better. And a thumb stretch panel. I like the thumb stretch panel because I do like this, and then I wipe my nose and get the snot off my face. Yeah, that's pretty much why I use it the best. I'm still looking forward to somebody putting some little snot rags essentially in the thumb like they do for mountain bike stuff. And I keep telling all my friends that fly to please do this, to do it and do it and do it all the time on every pair of gloves, but they don't. So maybe one day they'll figure it out. Please go check out Fly Racing. Flyracing.com is the website. They are a huge supporter, and we really, really appreciate them with their support. So, Steven, how are we going? What's getting set up over there?
Trying to get him connected here, but we're still not. All this is I can call the phone.
But all right, click on the right. Maybe the button. Hit the plus. See what happens with the button.
Ooh.
Click the video. Maybe see what happens. don't know. So we're trying to get set up and see what's going on. Oh, man. So what's going to be fun, though, is once we get Kyle Redmond on, we're going to be able to talk a lot about what went on this past weekend in Vegas. Now, obviously, with Vegas, you're not supposed to talk about Vegas a lot, but we're going to talk about Vegas a lot anyway, at least the stuff that we know that we can talk about. So we'll see how that goes. So, Kyle, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice. Well, I don't know what happened. We don't have your video. What'd you do, Steven? You pushed the wrong button.
Probably.
Yeah, it was just a phone call.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it still says we don't have...
Oh!
There I am.
Yeah.
Hey.
There I am.
And look at that. We didn't even have to tell you to use headphones, and you used headphones. That's fantastic. You're much smarter at this than I am.
I've seen it done before.
You talk to Cory Buttrick, I can understand, because that's what he does,
Yeah.
and I appreciated it very much. So, as I was just saying, there's a lot of stuff we could say about Vegas from this past weekend. Obviously, since it's Vegas, there's some stuff we probably should not mention. And when I start to talk about that stuff, you just shut me up, okay?
Okay.
No, I don't have any dirt on you. Don't worry. I got dirt on other people, so it's much more fun that way. So, Mr. Kyle Redmond, you have been competing in the Endurocross Series for a couple years now. This year, and you've been on a couple different teams, a couple different manufacturers, things like that. It seems that you have a nice, fun little home now on the RPM FMF KTM team. When did all that come together for you? Has that just been something new for 2013?
Well, actually, I'm not really riding for them here in America, but we're doing the European thing, so that's really good over there. Pretty excited about it. It's KTM's a good bike to be on, so anytime you're on a KTM, you have the option to choose so many different models, and for all the different types of racing and stuff, it's kind of a good place to be.
Yeah. So what's the difference then? So when you're here in the States, what team are you riding on versus the RPM team that you then ride for? I guess is that over in Liverpool or like the SuperEnduros?
Yeah, the SuperEnduro's over there. It's basically the same. It's just the same bike, and here I'm just complete privateer right now. Just bought a bike, and kind of doing it that way. It's kind of a cool sport. You don't really need much help, and you can be on the podium. It's not like any other sport. So a stock bike can actually get you anywhere in this sport, I think. So me and my dad just decided to do our own thing, lately, and we bought a 250SX and put a 300 kit on it, and I got my suspension dialed in, which that's pretty important. It's still low performance, and it's been going good. Been digging the bike. Yeah, basically it's the same bike in Europe. Just differences like PDS, and that's the no linkage thing that they have over there.
Yeah, for sure. And is that tough for you to come back and forth between the linkaged KTM versus the PDS KTM?
No, it's kind of, you get used to it real quick. It's not that much of a difference. I'm not too pumped on it, but I like it when you're in different situations. It doesn't react the same, but when you're like in logs and rocks, you don't have that linkage hanging up, which I really like. And, but I'd say like jumping stuff, it's kind of a little sketchy sometimes, but my bike wasn't really dialed in yet because I didn't ride it too much.
Right.
So as the season goes on over in Europe, I think we're all going to get, better and more used to what we're riding.
For sure. So on your KTM 250SX that you have here for in the States, is that a bike? Did you get the linkage guard on there with the Stillwell Fastway performance guard that they have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get that on there.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. I have a 2013 300 XC, and I remember the first time I caught that bitch on a log, and it just about threw me over the handlebars. I was like, this sucks. What the, like, ugh. And I kept seeing guys over and over and over again do it. And finally I found that guy online, and I called him up, and I was like, hey, I just want to tell you, this is the best product ever. Thank you. And I want 2 of them. Like, send them my way. I want a backup just in case I get extra stupid and need it.
Yeah, they're definitely worth it. You really need them.
I agree. Well, dude, so you had a great weekend in Vegas. I mean, I was there. I got to see you kick ass in the hot laps, where you took the fastest hot lap going in. That was going into the qualifiers. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was
Like
just
going into the
after. Just after practice, we do the hot lap just to seed us into the heat races, and came together, had a good fast time. I was really happy with that. I felt really good all day. I was, fastest also in practice, like both of them, and that's, I haven't really done that yet, so it really meant a lot, for confidence wise, and building on something for next year.
Absolutely. And then, of course, third place on the day in Vegas in the finale. Are you liking the new format that they did this year, where they have essentially two types of hot laps? They have the hot laps to seed you into your heats, and then they have the hot laps that allow you to pick your gate pick. For the finale.
I think it's good because I think the fans dig it, and it doesn't really matter what I think. About sometimes you get screwed by it, sometimes you do better. I mean, all the riders can complain about stuff like that, and really just if the fans like it, that's the biggest importance, is that we're entertaining, and I think it's a really entertaining part to have in the middle of the night. So I think we should stick with it, and I'm pretty sure we are for next year. I mean, I've been screwed by it this year, and it's helped me this year. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
gotta deal with it.
I do agree. I completely agree. I love it. I think it was awesome. This was the first one I was able to make this year. Unfortunately, I actually really enjoy going to the Endurocross events. I think the racing is bar none. Just it's the most bar banging action you can find. And it doesn't even need to be on like a 5-foot wide course. It's just that with all the technicality and the ability for just about anyone to make a mistake. There's just so many chances for guys to be right next to each other, just ready to try to make a pass and try to make stuff happen. It's so intense, and you did really, really well this past weekend. What did you think about when Cody Webb came up the inside of you and Cory and like wheelied up into that almost illegal, not illegal, it was legal, but like into that very very awkwardly tight line in the water pit there?
Well, that was Jeff Aaron actually leading the entire beginning of the race, and I was right on him the whole time. And Jeff, he's going really good. Like, he was riding so good the rest of the track, and that one section there, he wasn't jumping into the water, so it's kind of messing me up a little bit. But I wasn't going fast enough the rest of the track to pass him, so I kind of knew Cody was there, and I was like, I didn't know what else to do. I mean, I was just following Jeff, rolling that section. Cody just carried a lot more speed into it, and I guess he had a creative line there that I wish I found, because he passes both. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty awesome. I don't really know exactly what he did because I didn't see him, but all I know is he was in front of both of us all of a sudden. Yeah,
it's funny. I listened. He was on the Pulp MX show last night, which that was going to be another question I was going to talk to you a little bit later about. But him being on the Pulp MX show last night, I listened to it a little bit today, and he was talking about his pass, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw it on YouTube," and I was like, "What?" So I go, YouTube. I went straight to YouTube. It was Cody Webb, like Endurocross Vegas pass, and bam, there it is right there on YouTube. I posted it up on the Seat Time Facebook page today, and he literally just took the left, like going into the water pit, just went to y'all's left. And then, like, as he's going over the log, instead of, like, lifting up his front wheel and, like, laying it straight down, he lifted it up and just laid it over to the side, right on the right of that weird rock bit that they had built, which essentially was the legal versus non-legal side, and just, and, like, right there, and just dipped in, I guess at that point on Jeff Aaron. But you're right. Very creative. Like, and it sounded like he didn't even know that line existed until he was like, shit, I'm going into this water hole on the left side of them, and I don't know where I'm going from here. And it was like, I need to get creative, and he got very creative. So it's stuff like that. It seemed like that water hole, just like you guys, just splashed water out of it all night. And by the end of it, I think when Mike Brown even crashed, he probably hit more concrete than he even did water. In situations like that, does it even seem like the obstacle's worth it at that point? That should they build them different so that they last longer?
Yeah, that one, we don't get that often, but sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here.
Hey, no worries, man.
Just holding my phone out in front of me. Yeah, they don't build them that way that often. I mean, I think the reason that the concrete kind of broke through and we were sliding around, I think it went down to the real concrete, which is, polished or whatever. because I could see some tarp showing up through the water, some blue tarp. So I think it just broke through. But the reason is because we were going so high into it, and then when we landed, we were on the brakes because we had a left turn right away. So it's never really happened. I've never seen the track like break through the water obstacle before. So I think it was just that different of an obstacle. But I thought it was a cool little jump. I mean, you went high, and you landed and had to make a left turn. It was like kind of technical. So
yeah,
I mean,
it was smart what you guys were doing.
Yeah, if they just made it a little thicker, it would have been fine. I think Brown kind of got screwed by it. Just not, because you can't see through the muddy water. You don't know what's under there, and it's like, hey, you hit a slick spot.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked, but
it's one of the age old saying, rubbing's racing, but at this point you don't really realize that you're rubbing polished concrete. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I'd rather be rubbing elbows opposed to polished concrete. And we see, and it's funny too because you don't see it happen that often, but even in Supercross sometimes you'll see the plywood start to show through that they use, and you can totally tell when those guys are getting in there, all of a sudden their traction breaks. And it's something they try to plan for that not to happen. But in this situation, yeah, it's probably they've been, they build these concrete setups in a day for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes, it's just they just have to. They'll know better next time to make them extra thick because you guys are going to jump anything you can to save time.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I wanted to know what you thought about your season this year in the Endurocrosses. I was looking at a lot of your the way that you finished, and you did really good. Always in the top 10. It looked like you were 8th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 7th, and then 3rd.
Yeah.
So, kind of, how do you feel about your season?
My season, I don't really know. I kind of blew it a lot, I think, in the mains. I think I was really good, like, throughout the day. I qualified out of every heat race. I don't think I went to one LCQ all year, And, I think just a lot of the main events, I just kind of didn't get the good start and, kind of came from behind a lot. And, I'm really not happy about it, but, I got to just keep going and keep learning from it. I mean, I ended on a positive. So, yeah, I mean, what am I going to do? Can't keep looking backwards.
No, yeah. I think you're right to keep looking forward, but I think it's at least one of those things maybe to look back and to know maybe to find what you might have done wrong. Not to like, skulls yourself in that sense, but to say if there is if there's something that sticks out, to know, okay, that's a path I don't want to veer down anymore in that sense. Cody Webb says he's been doing a lot of motocross. How is that something that that works into your training regimen and stuff like that? Because he says he wasn't aggressive enough. Well, he's looked really damn aggressive lately. So
he's definitely been riding really aggressive, and I've ridden motocross a lot, but this year it's kind of weird. I haven't done too much of it, and last year I was doing motocross and kind of got hurt, and then had a different opinion about it. But I really need to start doing it again and get my aggression up. That's for sure. I mean, it's the riding side of it, I know I'm fine. I know I can ride over anything, but the racing side is really what I need to work on. And it's also a mental thing. Going into the rounds, you got to be confident, you got to be ready, and there's a lot of other stuff, a lot of little things I was unhappy about this year that may have affected me, that now it doesn't matter, and I wish I just got over it. But whatever, just gotta move forward and think about next year. And Cody Webb, he's a good example. Got the aggression there, and got the motocross down. I mean, I've known him his whole career of dirt bikes. I was there like, I think the first time he rode a dirt bike, he was on like some crazy Sherco 450, and it was pretty funny. But he's really stepped up. So he's a good guy to look at.
Yeah. Do you think with Endurocross that it's more of just being able to not just ride more versatile terrain, but to be able to think more versatilely, in a more versatile fashion? Because it seems like I could say, sure, I'm going to go out and ride motocross and try to be more aggressive, but I don't think that just riding, like, I guess that's the way I think about it. I think racing motocross might make you more aggressive, but I think just riding motocross or making sure that you get in all those different types of riding in your practice is what makes you more versatile. And I'm just trying to make sure that I understand like what you guys think you need to be doing in that sense to be more versatile in an endurocross rider. And I don't, and not being a professional, I don't get out and race motocross. I don't go out and race, all these different types of events that you guys do. So I'm just trying to figure out what you guys think really might work best, or is maybe it's per rider.
Yeah. I think every rider's different.
Okay.
Definitely. Some riders come from motocross, like Brown, and
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be racing. I mean, it helps. It definitely helps. Keeps him sharp and everything, but he should probably be riding trials or whatever. I mean, I don't know him, but
let's not get him on a trials bike. We don't need him to get any better.
Yeah, definitely. But I personally, I like to ride trials, and I didn't come from racing at all. I came from just riding dirt bikes. I didn't come from any kind of competition on a bike, and I started racing kind of late. And I think for me, racing is the best thing I could be doing, and I definitely got a lot of races in this year. And I could have done more, but then there's also that I only had like a little bit of stuff, a little bit of money, a little bit of bikes, a little bit of parts, and there's a fine line there, which I need to make it to the races that are important, and I can't be blowing through all my stuff. So next year I'm hoping that I can find more help in general, so I can like just focus on bettering where I suck at. It's like it's not about it's actually comes down to like having an extra bike, instead of one bike, and having some extra tires, extra parts, the money to drive to the different races or whatever. I mean, it's difficult. So some riders have a lot bigger programs. So it's just me and my dad pretty much right now.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely tough, and doing the whole privateer thing, as you said, it sounds like it is more. It's a little bit easier for you doing this as like endurocross wise, but if you were to get into some of the other programs, it would be a little bit more difficult. Tell us about when you went to Liverpool for round 1 of the SuperEnduro over there. How does that program over there relate to what we know in the States as endurocross?
It's pretty similar. It was I think it was kind of a weird first round. Everybody was kind of saying it didn't really resemble their normal tracks, but it was actually really tight and really technical, kind of like we don't see over here as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see how Poland is as the next round, because it sounds like it'll be more like one of our tracks.
Cool.
But
it looked, from the helmet cams and such like that, it looked narrow as all get out. I mean, it looked like
it was
they
really
had
narrow.
more guys on the line and way more narrow.
Yeah, it was narrow. It had just a lot of stuff, like a lot of obstacles. And the biggest thing that I found was the dirt was really weird. It was like spongy, and it had huge ruts. Like every obstacle had a big rut, and it got down to the concrete in a lot of spots. So, I mean, that was like the complete opposite of Vegas. Vegas was like blue groove, dry. They were watering a little bit, but it was like making it worse.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask, you probably didn't, but did you by any chance see any of the practice sessions for the amateurs at the Endurocross on Friday?
No, actually, I didn't make it there until like 8 on Friday. I was actually like super sick, like throwing up all day Friday, and I was like not even sure if I was going to be able to drive there.
Ugh. Well, if you'd have stopped by the Alligator Bar Friday night, you definitely would have seen me soaking up my wounds there at the bar Friday night from my very shitty showing during practice at the Endurocross. Oh my gosh! So
was that your first time?
Actually, it's not. What's funny enough is I used to do the series when it still came east. I guess more central, when it was in Guthrie, Oklahoma. The 3 times I'd been here, I'd done it up here. Loved it. I always had a great time doing it, and never had a problem making a lap ever. Never had a problem making a lap. Like racing it, sure, that was tough as shit. I never raced. It was always the gate dropped, I went, I rode, I crashed, I got up, and that's how I roast the amateur class. But it was fun. I loved it. So I was like, cool, I'll go do that in Vegas. I have no aspirations of trying to kick ass or whatever. Like, I didn't even have aspirations to making the night show. But motherfucker, I couldn't make one fucking lap. I mean, like, I made 3/4 of a lap the first practice, and they kicked me off after the rocks. And then I made half a lap on the second practice, and that was like, I'm done. I went to the bar and got a Count and Croak, and I started drinking at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because I was freaking gnarly. Like,
well, don't feel too bad. The tracks have really gotten different since Guthrie, Oklahoma. That was also one of the faster, easier tracks. But yeah, I mean, you've probably never ridden one of those matrixes or stuff like that. Those are kind of new. The woodpile thing's new.
Oh, that woodpile turn was a B-teen. I mean, if you guys, they haven't posted any of the video footage yet, so if you guys weren't there live and you didn't get a chance to watch it on Endurocross.com when they did the live webcast, you probably haven't seen it yet. And the first turn had half to 3/4 of the field piled up in that wood turn. I mean, it was everybody's bike was butt raping each other. I think there was one bike was completely revved out. It was just like on the rev limiter. You thought something was going to blow up at any point in time. David Knight and Taddy Blazusiak look like they're having a fist fight, but it's actually David Knight trying to help up Taddy Blazusiak and his bike, but it's just the way they were going at it. You couldn't tell what was going on. I mean, it was just it was chaotic. It was insane. After that,
I didn't really.
What's that?
I didn't really see. I didn't really see any of that. I was like,
you were in the midst.
I think
of it.
I don't remember. I think I went around the outside of that and somehow came out like second or third or something.
Well, you were the smart person.
I don't know. I guess I got pretty lucky not to follow Taddy into there.
Dude, it was nuts. Right? It was either him or Brownie because it was like, I think it was because it was like Knight's on the super inside, then Taddy who was on top of him, or maybe vice versa because I think it was Knight's bike had fallen on top of Taddy because Taddy had caused a wreck, and then Brown had fallen on top of Knight. So it was like Brown. Oh, it was just like, and all three of them were like right up against that log, right on the outside of that turn. The tire. So it was like. Guys like you who could go way out to the outside were the ones that got lucky on that kind of stuff. But it was chaotic. But that's the kind of stuff that, I mean, nobody got hurt. It's good rubbing racing kind of stuff because any of that stuff can happen because those guys can go in there. Because I was talking to Brown about it. I was like, how do you ride this stuff? So, I mean, you just go in and you just keep momentum and you hope that you hit that stuff just right to where it doesn't throw you off the bike. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, this is coming from the top professional.
Yeah, no, I think it's good though to have that kind of a track. See how exciting it was,
absolutely.
Some of the races have been, whole shot, lead every lap, and then it's kind of boring. I think when they have the tracks too easy.
Yeah.
So that was probably the most exciting race ever. I mean, I could just hear the crowd going crazy. I've never heard that before as much. So
yeah, there was all kinds of. Just good rubbings racing all over the place. Guys making little mistakes, which then caused kind of like bumping and rubbing, and then got to make quick decisions and quick bike placements and stuff like that. So no, it was really good. I wish I could have been sitting in the stands. I was down there taking pictures, which of course we posted on the website soon. But it was awesome. Well, cool, Kyle. I know we don't know to keep you too long. So, dude, where can people find you? Socially or any of that kind of stuff, websites, Twitter handles, all that jazz in case they want to give you a follow if they're not already.
I got an Instagram. It's Kyle Redmond 777, and I got Facebook. You can just type in my name, and I got a Twitter. Don't really use it too much though.
Hey,
but
that's okay.
I don't even think I know my handle for Twitter. Sorry, guys.
Man. That's all right. But P.S. for anybody out there that does randomly message him on Facebook, make sure you say who you are, and don't just ask him randomly what his plans are for the evening because he might get a little weirded out. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Not that it's happened or anything like that, but in case you just want to make sure it doesn't, don't. That's the way you should handle it. Well, dude, any last thoughts on any of the stuff that you've got going on? Anything coming up or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I got Poland coming up. Everybody check that out. It's in a couple weeks.
Sweet.
So that'll be.
Are they going to have a live webcast or anything, or is it just going to be all after the fact we get to watch?
I think it's on after the fact.
Okay.
I don't know if
Hey.
it's on in America.
Right.
But, you know, keep tabs. I'll be posting some photos and whatnot. And I'm also going to hang out with Johnny Walker the week before and doing some riding.
Uh-oh.
So there's some cool stuff out there in England to ride, and I'll be posting some photos from that too. So if you want to, check it out, follow my Instagram, and I'll show you guys what's up.
Show us how to have a good time. Dig
I
it.
don't know.
Well, I'd love to ride with Johnny Walker and go to Poland. I don't know if I'd like to do the Super Enduro in Poland, but I'd at least like to go to Poland. So I'm going to follow you on Instagram so that way I can feel like I'm at least part of the crew.
All right.
He's
Sounds
like,
good.
damn it. I don't want that guy around me anymore. All right, Kyle, we really appreciate you being on Seat Time. I know it was kind of last minute, so thank you very much. Tell Ivan Ramirez we said hi as well. Tell him that we're going to have him on the show soon because we definitely want to talk to him because he's awesome.
Yeah, he's out there playing some Grand Theft Auto right now. So.
All right, go kick his butt then.
All right.
Take it easy, Kyle. Thanks again, dude.
All right. See you guys later.
Later. All right. So as we wrap up with Mr. Kyle Redmond, definitely want to say thank you to some of our other sponsors out there. I think it's awesome. Kyle Redmond has not had a chance to be on the show before. And, of course, with just last-minute shenanigans going on with people not getting back to us who said they would, I got in touch with Kyle very quickly. He's very, very nice about being able to come on the show. Energetic guest, love that kind of stuff. So I definitely thank him for doing that. I'd like to say thank you very much to Powersport Graphics. RidePG.com is the website where you can find them. For being a sponsor of Seat Time, graphics, stickers, random bits of any kind of awesome that you would like to look for graphically, they can do it for you. I've even asked them about stickers for my car. They can do stickers for my car. So you definitely need to make sure if you don't see it on the website, you can call and ask them, and they're going to have all kinds of fun stuff for you. So, of course, as you can see, we have our discount code, which is just Seat Time, which is going to save you a certain percentage off of anything that you buy on their website. Better yet, right now, they do have their Black Friday specials going on, so you can use the discount code TAKE20, T-A-K-E 20, just the two numbers, 20. It's going to shave you, I think it's 20% off of things in their Black Friday specials that are going on. But you can go to their website, ridepg.com. They do have a nice little area on the website, all their little deals. I believe the last one is that you can click on and see all the Black Friday stuff that they have going on. They always have really great deals, just like the ready-to-ship option where you can save up to 40% using that. But, of course, we personally would love it if any time that you talk to them, you email them, you tweet them, tell them that you heard about us on Seat Time and tell them thank you for being a fantastic sponsor because we love having them here. So they're fantastic. So it's been episode 108. What kind of stuff have we covered? So we talked with Cory Buttrick about his new ride for 2014 being with American Beta. Obviously, he's going to be doing a lot more Enduros, I think, than he has done in the past, nationally anyway. Maybe some GNCCs if he can get there. If they can get that 450 going the way they want to get there. And but it's good. Cory Buttrick is a great rider, great racer, great dude. I hope that it goes well for him. It's going to be a waiting game. We're going to have to see what that first race has in store. We've got guys like Charlie Mullins who are just on fire, kicking butt. Stuart Baylor Jr. is getting healthy again. Nick Farringer's been having a great program, been building, been growing. Mike Lafferty's in his 20th year of racing for KTM. I mean, that guy's going to have so much fire underneath his butt, it's going to be ridiculous. So lots of competitors out there for him to compete with. So it'll be a testament to see if he can come out on top. I hope he does. Of course, we just got done talking with Kyle Redmond. Kyle Redmond, awesome endurocross racer. Got to meet him this past weekend in Vegas. He didn't remember me, but hey, that's okay. When you're in Vegas, it's okay if you don't remember a couple of things. But of course, obviously, he's a little soft-spoken. But as they say, I have the gift of gab, so I can kind of pull a little bit out of anything. And he's always fun to talk to. Our trip to Vegas was fantastic. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But before I do, I want to say thank you very much to our third sponsor, is Fast Company. Now, you've probably heard of Fast Company, but you may not have heard it through Fast Company. What you've probably heard of is their Flex Bars. What you can see on the screen right now is they have their Christmas special going on where you can save $50 off of your order up until December 31st. This is a fantastic way to get in on the deal. Now, of course, I'm not going to say there's anything specific, but if you were happen to call them up and be like, hey, I was listening to the Seat Time episode, they said that you guys had some Seat Time deals going on, I'm pretty sure that we could come up with something for you guys. So if you were to do that, obviously you could probably even save a little bit more money. But so obviously from November 15th through December 31st, save $50 off of any of the flex bars. Flex bars is one of those situations. Maybe you have too much arm pump, you get ham numbness, you have wrist and elbow or shoulder pain, any kind of tendonitis or carpal tunnel. I promise you, these are not just made for that, but they help tremendously with it. And the thing is one of those things that these also help prevent any of these kinds of situations happening. So you might be a younger rider where you don't have any wrist or shoulder or elbow problems now. You can start running these, and I promise you, it'll easily add 10 years to your career because of the fact that you will not go through the vibrations that you would go through with any form of other stock non-dampened handlebar. So definitely thank those guys for their support. Please go check them out at fastco.com. That's FASSTCO.com. So Vegas this past weekend, I have to say, it's typically, obviously, we like to keep the show at about an hour, but man, I can tell you right now, this past weekend was awesome. So we did our Kirk Caselli show. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on the website and on Stitcher and iTunes. We did our Kirk Caselli show, celebrating the life of that man. God bless him, and definitely ride in peace. On last Tuesday, and we packed up the van and everything, and I was like, well, we were going to leave at 6 a.m. It was like 11:30. I was like, why don't we just leave now? Everybody's like, yeah, okay. So we just all took quick showers just because we knew we'd be in the car all day, and we left at 12 a.m. We drove about 5 hours, about an hour outside of Amarillo, and we're getting gas, and James has just happened to do a walk around in the car, and he's like, holy shit. I was like, what? It shows me we had a hub bearing go out on the trailer. So the hub bearing on the trailer is completely blown out. I mean, it's just disintegrated. It does not exist. Like, what? So I'm like, well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're not gonna find anything here in the middle of nowhere, an hour from Amarillo, for minimum 9 o'clock. I was like, we can push it and drive an hour to Amarillo, maybe an hour and a half if we drive slow and just like kind of nurse it. But we could find something because by that point things are going to be starting to open up. We could probably get something going on. So what we do is we drive to Amarillo. Nothing open till 7. Go get some breakfast. Go over. Hey, there's this trailer place across town. Okay, cool. Well, we go over to this trailer place where I can tell you this was definitely a sketchy part of town. The guy was really scary looking. But everybody was super nice. They even had a shop dog that I swore I thought was going to bite my testicles off. It was very, very, very intimidating dog. James did post a picture of him if you want to go find that on his Facebook page, which is fun for everybody. The dog was super nice. It's just super intimidating before you got to know him. But what we did is we left our trailer with them, and we are like, hey, we're going to be back on Sunday. We're going to come pick it up. We're going to rent a U-Haul. So we rented a U-Haul and drove that U-Haul the rest of the, I don't even know, 18, 17 hours to Washington, Utah. We made it to Hurricane, Utah, got a hotel, woke up Thursday morning and did the Fast Ride. So the friends of Fast Ride, we went out to meet up with the guys at Fast Company, Cole and Chris and all their crew, and they took us out on some of the most epic trail I've ever ridden. I've ridden in quite a few epic places, them being Colorado, Idaho City, a couple places on the East Coast. And this is definitely in the top 5. Absolutely phenomenal. So we had guys like David Knight was out there, Corey Griffunder was out there. We had Toby Price showed up, Mike Brown. So not only is there awesome crash footage that I have on my helmet cam that'll be coming out later of myself crashing, but there's awesome riding footage of other guys doing some fantastic stuff that we'll have. It's super spectacular. It was this like slick rock kind of stuff, so tons of traction. It did rain a little, but hey, we had so much fun. The terrain was so cool. It was fantastic. They fed us lunch, totally catered, and then we rode a lot of epic single track on the way back. Oh my gosh, it was so badass. So if I wanted to tell you though how bad I wrecked my bike, so when I wrecked my bike the first time, I went over the handlebars and tweaked the bars, but I was like, oh shit, I bit the handlebars. Well, I couldn't get them to straighten out, so I was like, man, I bit my handlebars bad. I loosened the forks and kind of got the forks straightened out. The problem was the bolt that actually holds on the handlebar clamp to the top of the triple clamp is what bent. It bent in there just like, burr. So once I kind of got that straightened out, my bars were a little bit better. Then, being an idiot, trying to follow Mike Brown around, I clanked my pipe on something. Well, it knocks my pipe out of the cylinder so bad that when it tries to come back in, it slams it back in because of the springs, the tension. It slams it back in sideways. So my bike now sounds like a CR500 from 1986. It was just ridiculous, man. It was like all kinds of... And then, oh my gosh, we get going back, and it starts raining like a biatch. I mean, like crazy. So, and me, I just had like one jersey. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like freezing. I'm a small person. But hey, man, it was still fantastic. I got back. I was so tired. I mean, like, so tired. But of course, then I had to go to the shop. I had to pay retail, which it happens, for a brand new pipe and a new rear tube because I got a rear flat as well. So that was fun. Did all that to get ready for the Endurocross, which I did a 3/4 of a lap in the first practice and half a lap on the second practice. And then I drank all of their Crown and Coke. I think I drank all of it. Like, that bar was done. So then we did practice. Jeff O'Leary did awesome. Tiffany Vardell was there. She was our kind of pit crew coordinator, mama, if you will. It was a lot of fun. We hung out with Veronica and Nolan. Vanessa and Nolan. They were awesome people. It was a lot of fun meeting them and hanging out with them. Sarah Whitmore and Phil Smodgy. They were cool. Got to pit and hang out with them. It was a great time. From there, it was like, hey, look, there's a bar. Let's drink at it. So it was 4:45 in the morning. And James and I just so happened to be the only two people left at the bar. So we decided to go to sleep. We wake up. Well, I wake up, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. So I try to stand up, and I fall back down. But it was like not like I fall back down like something hurts. I just fall back down because I'm like all out of sorts. I'm like, man, what's going on? And I realize I don't have a headache. So I try to start walking to the bathroom again, and I'm like, man, I think I'm still drunk. I was still drunk. So I woke up, and instead of getting breakfast, because by this point it's lunchtime, I was like, well, let's go get some lunch. So we went to Fridays, and I was like, you know what? I was like, the best cure for this hangover is more alcohol. So I just got a Bloody Mary, and I just kept the party going. And actually, so I drank for like, I don't know, 12 hours straight from Friday to Saturday afternoon, and I didn't have a hangover. I just didn't have I don't know, Vegas makes you do weird stuff. Why not? And then, of course, we go to do the finals. Epic racing. It's a shame that the finale for Endurocross next year will not be in Vegas. It's only going to be there for the opener. So definitely, if you want to go, if anything I've said makes you think that you should be there, be there. It is so much fun. Hopefully the Friends of Fast Ride happens again. I don't think they're going to move it into March, though, before Endurocross. Then it'll probably be something like a 2-day going on. Same time next year as it's going on right now. But yeah, so we did the whole Endurocross thing. Everybody raced. Cody Webb did fantastic. Teddy Blazuziak won the championship. Mike Brown was disappointed but fell over in the water pit anyway. So we go to the Alligator Bar, which everybody talked, this is the same bar we were at last night. We go to the Alligator Bar, but this is like the night because everybody's done racing. Stuff goes off the charts. As I said, it's Vegas. I'm not going to tell you who was doing what, but if you want to know, go next year because holy shit, that's like bam. Like that is some. You see a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, which is pretty awesome. Just having fun, man. Just being who they are and having a good time. This is what you should do. And then, of course, we made the long 21-hour drive home. So we drank at the bar until 3:30 a.m. Sunday morning. We walked to our hotel room. Tiffany did not drink, by the way. It was just James and I drinking. We walked to our hotel room. And by that 4 a.m., we're in the car leaving. James and I pass out. Tiffany drives us home. At some point, James takes over. Sometimes I take over. And then we just kind of swap it on out. We got home at like 3:30 a.m. Monday morning, Texas time. So it's like 21 hours in the car. Or 21 hours drive time, whatever you want to call it. Badass trip. Don't want to be in the car at all anymore. Like I called in. I didn't call in sick. I didn't call in to work sick on Monday, but I did call him and be like, I'm working from the house. I've had 4 hours of sleep. I feel like a zombie. Today I went in just because I knew I wanted to get out of the house. Tomorrow I don't want to go. I just don't want to drive anymore. Driving sucks. I don't know how you guys do it who do it all the time. It's ridiculous. You're more of a man than I am. If you're a woman, you're more of a woman than I am. I pride you for it because it's... But yeah, so that's what's going on. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. For those of you who would like to help out Seat Time, remember we do have a lot of Seat Time merchandise for sale. We sell all that on our Big Cartel website, so seattime.bigcartel.com is where you can find that. Specifically, we have the new quote shirt. We still have some of the pint glasses, the Beer Olympics ones, and then some of the koozies. So please go do that. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/seattime is where we're at there. If you're on Twitter, it's twitter.com/seattime_CO. If you happen to be on, what's next? Instagram. Man, I write this stuff. You'd think I'd know. If you follow us on Instagram, it's just regular old Seat Time. And then YouTube, of course, our user channel is SeatTimeCO. The URL for the site where all this stuff is archived is seattime.co. we really appreciate it, man. I had a ton of fun tonight talking to Cory Buttrick and, of course, Kyle Redmond. Cory Buttrick's been on the show before. Kyle Redmond is not. Definitely, I want to have Kyle on again. Nothing else. I want to bring some energy to that kid. Get him amped up a little bit, you know. He's a good guy, don't get me wrong, but we'll just bring a little bit of energy to his program. It'll be fun. I think so. What do you think, Steven?
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you so much for paying attention and being here on Seat Time. It's been a great time. I love this kind of stuff. Had so much fun on this trip. Thank you to all the sponsors and to all of our friends that helped make it happen. We really, really appreciate your support. We'll see you next Tuesday. This has been Seat Time. Remember, always enjoy a pint full of awesome. We'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.